Hi, I'm Dr. Marome Klein. I'm one of the founders of the Courage Institute.
And Dr. Louise Klein, the second founder of the Courage Institute, and we're here today to talk to you about our new book.
Our new book is Getting Teams Jazzed, 5 Courage Activators to Power Innovation. And the reason we wrote the book is there is probably no greater myth in business than the myth about innovation. That we see people get big accolades, get wows, get ahas when their discoveries take off, and we believe it's luck, it's easy, it's brilliance. You stand up and you have a great idea and everybody applauds and goes, wow, wasn't that terrific? And the reality is
that many things fail, and the reason that they fail is because they don't realize, number one, they need a whole team behind them. You can look at Steve Jobs, for example, and say he was brilliant, but he also had all of Apple behind him. Behind any one of those great innovators that we think of as individuals, there's a whole team of people that are pushing and having generative debate and a little conflict in the right way to really pressure test that idea and keep it going and understand, is this going to address an unsolved question or an unmet business need?
And what we see, the key skill that we see innovators needing to have is the skill of how you keep teams jazzed up, fueled, propelled, that when they run into obstacles, when they run into difficulties, when they run into conflict, when they run into constraints, how do you keep the team going? How do you keep the team alive? How do you keep the team aligned and moving in the same direction? Those are leadership skills. And you know, there were studies done by IBM that went to Fortune 1000 CEOs and said, what's the number one quality that you look for in high potential talent? The answer came back, brilliance. But the fact is that many of us don't really like working with brilliant people. And studies out of Cornell, out of the Center for Labor Relations, are quite clear that brilliant people, creative people, we don't much like dealing with folks that rock our world, shake our boat, stir things up in teams. And so the key thing that leaders need to know how to do is how to get brilliant people moving in a way that keeps folks aligned and brings out the best in a team.
And that's part of what our book addresses. We talk about the two greatest impediments to creativity and innovation, and one is fear and the other is complacency. The fear that if I move now, what if something different happens in the market, the staff, the this, the that, and so they pull back. And the other is complacency, where people say, I'll get to it tomorrow, I'll get to it next week, we'll take another meeting. So in the book we address as a leader, how do you deal with that? How do you keep your teams focused and on track and diagnose where they are and what you can do to move them to the next phase?
So the research behind the book started for me when I was a doctoral student at Temple University and has continued in our consulting work and training work and the teaching that we've done as adjunct faculty at Temple University. And it focuses on 5 distinctive things that leaders do, 5 activators, 5 levers that leaders pull when teams run into conditions that can evoke a fight or flight reflex, complacency or fear, and make teams back away. And those 5 levers are:
purpose. Are we aligned on the goal? Do we know why we're here and what we're trying to do in our team and our company? Will. What's our energy level like? How do we keep our energy up so that when those inevitable obstacles come up, we don't see them as showstoppers, see them instead as a challenge that we can pull together to overcome? Risk. how do we invest in each other to bring out the best in each other on the team and support each other in that? Rigor. Do we have the right systems and processes in place to track our progress, move forward, and hit success? And this is all brought together by candor. Candor is about not just giving feedback to people in a way that can be heard, but is for you as the leader to be able to take the feedback on board, and requires a degree of humility to do that. And with that, you're really powering the team from within.
So what you'll get reading the book is an understanding of those 5 activators, and also some beginning of skill practice of how do you get fluent at applying those, because this is not a competency model, it's not a set of elements, it's a set of actions like breaking apart the steps of a golf swing, and you have to have a fluency and a coherency and a level of your own style and way of making this work for you and how you bring that to life. And that's what the book is going to give you some ways of thinking about, of how you encode that into your behavior as a leader.
Also, we've worked internationally, and the joy of this kind of work is seeing how this model applies across cultures, across teams that are coming together from many different countries and cultures and lands, and so many people today are working in this international matrix. And so this is also a way of helping them navigate that structure, pull together, and really hit the goals that they want to hit and have the kind of success that they want.